Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Hi, Flo.
Hi Joyce, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I see Mark is in the chat. Oh, your camera just went off. Not sure why. And for people who don't know, Cram in the chat is our CTO, Mark. And yes, Davey. So we switched to YouTube streams in September. We're not doing Zoom anymore. So when you share, I'll share a link so that you can hop on backstage and share your screen. Just make sure there's no confidential information. I mean, that was already the case for Zoom, but something to keep in mind. And if you have any questions, please post them in the comments on YouTube, and yeah, I'll go through them. And Mark is saying, "I want to see the AI." Yes, we will show you. Um, okay, so let me first copy the invite link. I'm sharing a link in the comments. So when I get to your question, you can click on that link, and that will give me the opportunity to, like, you will be backstage, and it will give me the opportunity to put you center stage, and then you can share your screen. Do you want to start with an AI demo, actually, Flo? I don't know if you had this planned, or maybe we can answer some questions first. What do you think?
I mean, I can. Let's answer some questions,
Yeah,
and
let's
after
answer some
that,
questions. All right. Sharing the link, and I'll just take one quickly. That's about are there any build ship videos with WeWeb? There is one on the No Code Devs channel. I will try to find the link for you. We have a webinar to like again to give you like backstage info. We've been planning a webinar with BuildShip for a few months now, but we're having trouble getting our calendars to align. So just today we wanted to do one next week, but we postponed it to January, February. So no videos yet. But Neil, I would love to know more about your like what videos you would want, because we recently hired Matthew as our education lead, and perhaps he can record some BuildShip WeWeb tutorials for you. So don't hesitate to let us know what kind of videos you'd like to see. And then we have a question from Scott. Can you turn a modal into a component flow?
this is a really good question. So right now, no, because the model is a section, but we are cooking a brand new element that is coming, I hope, pretty soon. That will do exactly the same, but it will be an element, so you will be able to turn it into a component.
All right, cool. And DI is asking, what do I need to do if I want my website to be available in 2 or more languages? How do I do that in WeWeb? There are a couple of ways, but if you want to hop on DI, don't hesitate to like click on the link I shared in the comments, and maybe you can share your project, and we can walk you through it. In the meantime, I'll share some documentation in the chat in case you prefer not to show up. And then we have a couple of questions from Prole. So I see you're here. Let me invite you on. So we can't see you, but I think if you talk, we may be able to hear you. Or maybe not.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm still trying to figure out what's best set up with having the chat on YouTube and this, because you can't chat in here. Anyway, it's
okay.
I was just nodding because I was trying to make sure that I'm muted in one location, because otherwise the sound is multiple.
Okay.
So I think that my first question was around, is there a good way to do after collection is fetched, trigger something like a workflow? Because I switched to Apex chart. By the way, like your instructions in the community were great on how to include it through NPM and actually make it render on the page. But then I wanted to basically have it auto update instead of on everything that my page can do an update have to trigger the re-rendering of Apex chart. So is there like on collection finish fetching, do this action?
So the answer is yes, but you need to fetch the collection manually to do this. So what you can do is to create a collection.
Can you share your screen maybe so we can walk you through it?
Sure. Sure. Okay. So this is my Apex chart, and right now it basically gets triggered with this custom JavaScript.
Okay.
So ideally, I would like this custom JavaScript to always
run after the collection fetched, right?
Yes.
Okay, so basically you would need to turn off the automatic fetching for your collection. So you would have to, here, advance exactly. So you turn this off. You can preserve in navigation, it's as you like. Well, turn it off. Okay, perfect. And then on your workflow before the JavaScript. So
before what?
So can you go back to your workflow?
JavaScript,
before the custom JavaScript block in here, you can click the plus button and you can add an action. No, new action. You need to add a new action before yes, exactly. And here you can look for fetch collection. And so in here you can fetch it manually. So you can click on it, and in here you can choose your collection on the right side. You can give it a name if you like, but oh, this one is okay. Yeah, just below, perfect.
I'm not sure what the sort order of these things.
Okay, so in here, the custom JavaScript will be executed after the fetching.
But the problem is, I mean, that in theory would work, but then it requires something to, I guess I can call it when there is other places where I call fetch or fetch collection.
On page load, you can do it on page load also.
But it's not just page load. Like every single time you update this or you update this or you update this or you update this, actually the collection gets refetched. So I still need to go and each time I have something that updates it, specifically call fetch. It's not like call that whole action script, not just what I do, for example, in this flow. That would be hard. Like there is not like bind to an action, I guess, because ideally.
This is a missing feature. What you would need is called a watcher. What you would like to do is to watch the collection, and when it changes, to trigger something.
Okay, so there is no way to currently do that.
No. Even with real time?
Yes, you're absolutely right, Joyce. You could use the real time from Xano, absolutely. This is a good way to do it. So instead of looking for a change on the front-end side, what you can do is to look for a change on the back-end side. So you can take a look to Xano real time, and in Xano you can create a trigger when a data change. So I guess this is related to a table, right? The data here.
Yes, it actually goes and takes data from a lot of different tables and then basically generates the graph.
Okay, so what you could do is to create a trigger on the Xano side and trigger it when it makes sense, and that trigger should basically write something in the Xano real time, and you can look for it. You can you can listen to this on the front-end side, and when this is triggered, you could basically re-render your graphs.
Okay, I'll take a look to see if that would work for me. Okay, you guys can go and ask other people's questions. I know I have.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, and I'll invite you on again later. And go. And I shared just in the comments, I shared the link to the docs about like Xano real-time in WeWeb.
But one other way to do it, I think, could be with a coded component, or something I'm going to show you. And in that coded component, you could add the Apex library and ask for listening to the prop, to the binding, so it could be under inside. So.
I like that. Okay, I see David is here. Having you on, David. Not sure if we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you, I think.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. Sorry, I had the question about the languages. I haven't heard anything about it yet, but I was just interested in how I could do it. I also have two other questions, but that's the most pressing one.
Could you share your screen maybe so we can show you around?
There is nothing yet. I'm on a template now, but I'm happy to share the template I'm using.
That's okay. That's okay.
Well, yeah, I think. Yeah, if you wanna.
We can quickly show you.
That's the one I like. So I'm looking at this one.
Okay.
Yes, I was interested if I could put like some flags up there and then just translate from one language to the other.
Yep.
Okay. So first you need to add the language to your page. So you see on the top left you've got EN. You see the EN selected input? Yeah. You can click on it, and here you can add language. And so you see in here you are on the product settings, languages for products, and in here you can add a language. Yes.
Oh.
Perfect. You need to toggle it. Yeah. I don't. Sorry, it's for the default. So keep EN, and at the top you can add it to the page.
Okay.
And that's it. So now you can go back to the page. So all the text now will have two bindings. So if you select products, for example.
In editing mode. Yeah.
Yeah. And you go to the in here. Perfect. You see below you've got TextFR.
Okay.
So you can also bind the TextFR to something else. And if you wish to change the language, you have two ways to do this. So whether you select, you go to the Add panel and you look for language something, maybe language. Okay.
Yes. It's here.
So this one you can go to preview mode and you can select the name in here. And if you don't like the style, you can just create your own select input with images or so on. And in the workflows, you can, if you go to, if you create a workflow. So this one works already. I mean, everything is embedded in it.
Okay.
But you can create a workflow just in here for the purpose of this exercise. So can you create one?
So I create the workflow and language dropdown, or
on this one it's not needed, but let's create it just for the test, because you can create your own one. That's what I mean.
And it's a global workflow, or it's
no. But for example, click on you can click on products. That's on the text, just for the in here. Click on it. Can you add a workflow in here? Perfect. And if you click add an action, you can look for language, and you see in here you can change the language. And then you can select something, and so you can create your own elements to toggle the name.
Okay, now I understand.
Does that answer your question? Is that what you were looking for? Because that
Yes.
implies that you bind, like you have the language, so it's not an automatic translation tool.
I get it. So I need to do everything like twice or for as many languages as I have, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll search and try to play with it. I'll ask a question in community if I have more.
Cool.
Okay,
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Do you want to quickly we can quickly have a look at your,
Oh yes,
make the background blurry with a modal, if you want.
If I click on add new product here, I see it's a bit darker on the back, but I would like it to be more just blurry. The only thing you see basically is the model.
Okay. Yeah, can you select it?
Yes.
In edit mode, yeah, perfect. Can you select the layout, the model? Perfect. Yeah, this one. Can you go to style? And yeah, you can. It's the backdrop color, so I think you need to change this.
And
so if you wish it to be blurry, blurry you wish, not. So if you want to blur, it's a bit more complicated. So if you really want to blur, you need to do it manually. So basically the content must take all the page, and then you need to create the blur yourself with the CSS. So it could take some time.
Okay, then I will try to search on internet about this and reach out to you.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So basically the backdrop, don't use it.
Yeah.
Create your model should take all the screen.
Okay.
The content that's inside the model, the content container.
Should take all the screen, and then you do your content.
Okay. I will check if it's worth the pain.
Yeah, blur is not that easy to do.
Thank you.
All right, great.
Welcome.
Thanks a lot. And I might call you back. I see you have another question, but I might call you back later if we have time.
No rush.
Cool. Thank you. All right, I just wanted to quickly take this question from Da Vinci Agency. So you had a conversation with WeWeb support last week in terms of moving your agency project to a client. And next week you can probably, they said next week you can probably do it yourself, probably. I can confirm that next week. So right now it's in QA. Maël is doing the QA, so it should be available next week. It's a little bit of delay. But yes, we are looking forward to this feature as much as you are, because it will save us a lot of time as well. So hopefully it will be available very soon. And all right, I think Davey had question. I don't know if Davey, you're still here. We had two questions. If you want to hop on, I'll share the link again in the chat. If you want to come on and ask your questions. Let me see if I... if you're not around, we had Alta Digital. Can I create branches in WeWeb to manage parallel workflows, like working on a design revamp while fixing production bugs without publishing incomplete changes?
So the answer is no, not yet. This is something we're going to work on, but not right now. This is for next year.
And that's for workflows, right? I think the only, the feature we added fairly recently is the ability to place a page in draft mode. Kind of a messy workaround that can help in some cases, but not the answer to all your problems.
But we know that this is needed, and this is top of our mind. Just after the EI release.
Sure. Okay, Davey just joined us, so let's have you on, Davey.
Cool.
Hello, how have you been?
Am I on? Hey.
Hey, Davey.
How are you?
Good, you?
Yeah, sorry, I just have a double. Okay, great.
Double.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I'm just new to the YouTube thing, so yeah, can I share my screen with this? I suppose.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. All right, amazing. So I have a question is regarding component.
You're not sharing it now, though.
I'm not sharing. Okay, hopefully, is it sharing now?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So, so basically, just to give you a bit of context, I'm trying to build a kind of online platform like for courses, for online courses. So basically, here you have the different module. Here you have the different chapter. Let's call it chapter. And every time you validate the chapter, then I want here to update literally the step that's just been done on the side. So here I have like the content of the chapter. So this is a component that I've created and then created a list with all the different chapters. So this works perfectly well. But in this component, I have a little check mark right here. And I want the check mark to be updated when the chapter has been seen. The issue that I have right now is because this component right now is in the list. When I put my input here, it applies the same input to all the little check marks. And I would like this to just be adapted to this chapter only. So I was wondering if you guys have any idea how to do that, because I had a property to the component, but the thing is just because it's a list, he applies it on the first one and then all of the follow-up one have the same issue. I mean, the same check mark.
Okay, so it should be in the data. So can you, okay, so here you've got this component and this component is the list, right?
So the list is here, the component is right there.
Yeah, okay, okay, perfect. Got it. So in your component, do you have a prop to toggle to show the tick or not?
Yeah, so here, like I have step here, and when I go to edit the component, I'm gonna end up on the what is it? The other one, which is the bullet point. The bullet point is right here.
Okay.
And so here, this is where I can put like whatever I need to update it. But obviously, because this one is in the bigger component, I just blind it to the main component. If that makes sense.
Okay, so if step is true, it's displayed. If it's not true, it's not displayed, right?
Exactly. But right now, it just applies it for the first one and then keep the same pattern for all of them, not for each of them.
No, this is weird. Can you, okay, go back to the instance?
Yep.
Okay, can you go to the parent where you bind to your lists?
So here, for example,
the step, no, not this one. Okay, before, can you click on items? I want to see that before. Okay, perfect. Can you show me the data? Can you select the first one?
Yeah.
Okay, so in this data, you don't know if it's done or...
No.
Okay, so this is where you should update the data to know if it's done or not. How do you know it's done?
But I know it because I'm saving every time someone does a step, I save it as a JSON on a different database. So literally every time I fetch the JSON, I know exactly where someone was on the process. But right now I'm fetching the chapters and the steps.
And would it be difficult for you to add this information here?
Yes, I can. Yeah, now because they're not actually related, because what I have is about the user.
Because this one is global. And so
yeah, exactly. This one is global, so there's nothing that links it to a user.
Okay. Can you show me how you bound step right now?
Bound step.
So can you select your component inside? Yes, in here.
Yep. So right now, for example, when I receive the data, the title, I'm gonna bind the title directly. So for different languages, descriptions, so that updates everything. And for example, this here is not in the list. So every time there's this little bullet point here, I can come and just add the JSON element that I need, and that works. But the fact that this one is within a list, this is where the issue lies, because it's like it's working when it's not in the list.
Can you show us this JSON?
The JSON, sure. So that's what JSON looks like right here. So here I can select basically the module, and here I have the
Okay.
different step. I have true or false. So literally, this is the one I want to bind, but
So
one
you have
can
to
be
look
true, the
up.
other one can be false.
Yeah, you have to check that. Okay, so can you go back to your component and go to the step property?
Sure. So
Yeah, perfect. Here. No, not that one. Not really the component.
this one,
And
okay.
can you select? Yeah, can you select the formula for step?
The formula for step, yeah, sure.
Yes. So in here, basically, you should return true or false depending on if you find the data in the steps, right?
Yeah, but this one is not working. I tried to play around, like putting those data. It doesn't work because literally some of them were false, and it was still displaying as true.
So below in your parent where you had the lists, do you have some IDs we can use to look for the steps? Because in the JSON in steps you have only IDs. I saw numbers.
Yeah.
And I suppose those numbers are related to those chapters, right?
I need to check. I'm not sure actually. What do I have in step? I have the
For
ID
example,
of the step. Yeah, the ID of the step.
ID2, what it is?
Yeah. So ID2 here will be. Yeah, no, I won't. I don't have it actually.
So I think what you need is to add the ID here. You need it, and then what you have to do is to look for this ID in two steps and see if it's true or false.
But because the ID is based on the user.
Yeah. So did you watch level 2 of the Academy, Davey, by any chance?
I watched it like a while ago. Not recently. I did watch it, but not recently.
Because I think you need to spend a little bit more time on how you structure the data, and you might need a table where you link the information, like the user information, to the lessons. I don't know what you think, Flo, but I'm thinking there might be.
Yeah, here you need to match. Yeah, indeed, you need to be able to match the lessons, the user, and the fact if the true or false, if it has been watched or not. So basically, 3 columns. In there.
I can't remember if you're using Supabase or Xano.
Xano.
Okay. Because I actually saw your question. I think I answered this afternoon in the community your question. I think we probably need to spend a little bit more time on helping you like structure the data properly, so then it's much easier, much clearer for you, and easier to implement in WeWeb.
It's just because I was trying literally to split the user's data and the general data that I would need regardless of what's happening. Because it's like otherwise they end up being a lot, because I know right now this is just the first process of onboarding. There might be a lot more coming.
Yeah,
that's fine. You can keep doing that, but you do need another table, which you can call listen users and achievements, something like this.
Okay.
And in here, so it's called a join table. And in here you're gonna have the user ID, the listen ID, and a boolean like true or false to know if the user did it or not. And so when you're going to have this, it's going to be much more easier for you, because in here, in this binding, you are going to look for the proper data, the proper row of the lesson for this specific user. And then you're going to have your true or false value for this specific line.
Okay, get it. So it's literally I need to link this table to the user table and try to find a okay. I get it.
And instead of having this big JSON, basically it's on the data on this table. You have everything, and in here you just pull the data for the user, and in that formula it's a basic lookup formula that you you would have to do.
Okay, clear. And so what we talking about the component, is there a way for me to use a component and adapt the workflow of each component? So I want to use the component across the entire app, but I have a custom workflow for each of them. Is it possible? Because I struggle to do that.
I think the best way is to do it like this. Like basically the component should not be linked to data. You should bind the step. So I think it's better to add the logic in here instead.
but like, can I use this as well for workflows? Like the same way I did. This is properties, so text or the stuff, I'll be able to do it. But if for workflow, does that work as well? Like, if I want to change what's going to happen once I trigger something, it's just not necessarily related to this specific case, but generally speaking.
Yeah. So I shared. If you go to our docs about the components, you'll see that we have component workflows and component events.
Yes.
So you can listen to an event from a component, and depending on the event, you can react differently outside the component.
Okay. Because I spent time reading it, it wasn't clear for me. I tried to find examples.
Yeah, I understand. We're so Daniel is working on, and I think Matthew will probably help him on videos with more use cases, because I think we covered only one use case in the user docs. So if it's not your specific use case, it can be hard to grasp. But the logic is like the component can emit an event, and outside that component, you can react to that event.
Okay, so that's outside the component that the workflow should happen, not inside.
Yes, absolutely, on the instance.
Yeah. You have a workflow inside the component, it will trigger every time. But you can.
Yes.
So the way to do it is to like tell the component to emit an event, and then the event can change, like can have a different name, and but then you react to what the name of that event is, and then you can trigger a different workflow outside the component.
Get it. Okay. So I build in a global workflow, basically. That's where I can trigger based on this event happening inside a component.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Then you can add a workflow on any instance and listen to that trigger.
Oh, okay. Get it. Thank you. That was the piece that was missing for me. Thank you very much.
No worries.
You're welcome.
I try to work on everything else a day soon. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, Davey. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, we have quite a few. There was. Yes, so let me just catch this one quickly. We're thinking of switching to an agency plan. How does project handoff work in the agency plan? How do we transfer ownership, maintain the app, and provide the new owner workspace access? So, first question is like, when you have an agency plan, your client can invite you for free as a guest in their workspace. So you can work directly in their workspace, like for free, no extra cost. Now the transfer ownership at the moment, and it was the previous question, at the moment you need to ask us to transfer it. That is a little bit of a pain for everyone. So in a week or two, you will be able, that will be in your hands, and you will have an interface where you can transfer. So you could work on a client project in your own workspace, and then when you're ready, transfer it to their workspace. So that's coming. That's not possible at the moment. You need to ask us, which is annoying, but we're changing that. And then to maintain the app, you would usually, once you've done your first handover, you would usually be a guest in your client's workspace and just maintain it directly in their workspace. So yeah, I hope that answers that question. And so this is a tricky, before we go back to Prolet and DI, this is a tricky question. We have a lot of these questions about, so it's someone who wants to integrate Stripe without using our Stripe plugin, and they would like to build from scratch. Actually, my manager technologies, if you're on here, if you're happy to come on, I can invite you on. But yeah, they're using. So I was just saying in the chat that the best practice to implement any type of payment system is to handle it in your backend anyway. But we're saying then it's difficult. Like using Supabase for the backend, it's difficult to integrate it with WeWeb. I don't know if I guess it's a little bit difficult to explain the logic of Stripe, like on just like that.
If you are using Supabase and you wish to use Stripe, you need to create an X function. You have no choice. You need to code with Supabase to do this.
With Supabase, it has to be code?
Yes, absolutely. Because basically, if you wish to, depending on what you want to do, you could use, I really advise you to use Stripe Checkout. So this is really easy to implement and it works like a charm. We are using that ourselves when you subscribe. So it really works like a charm.
A lot of SaaS tools are, sharing the docs here.
So really, I think you should use that. If you wish to do some specific things with Stripe, this should be done on the backend side. And when you are using Supabase and you need some backend logic, you need to create an edge function for this.
Okay. And I'm just sharing, so Q did a video about how to use Stripe checkout a while back. Some people have found it very helpful, some people have found it less helpful, so I'm sharing it here in case it's helpful to you. That explains a little bit the logic of how Stripe checkout works. Hopefully will help. But yeah, otherwise, unfortunately, there's no easy answer for payment gateways.
But
Hope that helps a little bit. Let me see. Okay, so I know I have to use a function in Java where I will where I will send the client ID to return the payment client ID. Yeah, I think for.
I know.
So I think you mean a JavaScript, like a. But.
I'm not sure to understand what you mean by this.
Yeah, Prolet was saying, I saw the video on integrating Stripe with Xano and was able to do it. So Xano has, I think Xano, they have an integration with Stripe where it's a little bit easier to set up. But yeah. And we have this question about any news about the new icon management interface.
So we discussed about this, so you're gonna need to wait a bit more. This is something we are going to prioritize. I hope in the coming months, but right now I cannot give you any dates. But this is definitely something we have in mind for the coming weeks or months.
All right, cool. And I don't know, DaVinci agency. Sorry, I see you're talking about a similar error, but I don't understand what similar error you're talking about. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. Like, if you want to create a topic in the community, feel free to do so. But I would suggest creating your topic in the Supabase community.
So yeah,
more than
if you wish to use the wrapper, yeah, and the wrapper it's just to read the data. So, or maybe you could tell us what you wish to do with Stripe. If you wish to get the data and just do some analysis on it, indeed you could use this function and this wrapper to get the data. But if you want to manage more business logic things, you won't be able to do that with the wrapper.
Cool. And Art, I see a question. If you want to hop on backstage and share your screen, I'm sharing the link again. In the meantime, I'm going to invite Prolate back on to go through more of her questions. Are you back, Prolate? Maybe I caught you off guard.
No, I'm back. I was just surprised that my screen automatically shared.
Oh, sorry. That's my bad.
No, it's okay. I was on the YouTube video. So I'm doing something very stupid from what I think, and I was trying to figure out how to get basically the first three items of a collection that I am sorting. So the collection is already on the page. I'm displaying all items in another place. So it seemed not smart to just refetch the collection from the backend with a particular sort. And then I saw this sort functionality here. But then I wasn't sure how to just get only the first three items. So I did this, which didn't make sense.
So you want to get the first three items from this collection, but
after
just
the
to
sort.
But I needed to be sorted differently than how it's possibly sorted in another way, in another place on my page.
Okay. Well, this should work. I mean, you can use the sort here and then use the formula.
I know, but it just seemed weird that I need to get each item like the
Oh no!
one and two from array. Like, yes, that's why it's like it seemed stupid to do it that way instead of doing something like get the first 3 items or something. So,
Can you copy your? Can we try to ask AI for this? I would love to see if that would work.
here,
Yeah. Can you ask for returning the first 3 and also ask for the sorting thing, like your rule to sort. And before clicking enter, could you please select transaction?
Oh.
Yeah, it won't understand. Yeah. Could you need to give the context? So could you select transactions in your data?
Oh.
Okay, and
it put it in here.
no, that's okay. That's okay. Can you tell the AI? Yeah, in here. Could you do it for transactions? Transactions.data, I think it was.
Honestly, I've tried this AI thing, and I don't know. Maybe my asks are not making sense to it, but it's like, yeah.
Ask and the key, sorted by a key. What is the key?
I think it's 8. 8.
Between quotes, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'll try that. I'll try, I guess, AI a little bit more, but it's, yeah.
It works pretty well for those kind of things.
I know, I'm just saying the few times I had asked it to do something it didn't really do, so I gave up and I haven't, but I'll try to utilize it a little bit more.
We're improving it constantly though, so if it doesn't work 1 month, give it a few weeks, where the team is always improving it. The progress has been pretty amazing recently, so give it another chance. I'm same as you. I'm not a huge fan of prompting, to be honest, but
yeah, but it works very well. And more
yeah,
and more.
it works. No, but I've noticed like it's funny because some people on the team prompt super well, and some don't prompt as don't get as results as well. So I think it's kind of depends on how your brain functions. So interesting, but we're working a lot on that. So I think the results are gonna get better and better for you as well.
Thank you.
And just to answer quickly, I saw you had a question about marketing. You know, we were saying, how about if you have marketing pages and app pages, would you want to separate them, or so you can work on them independently? And the idea was if you have updates on a marketing page, you might not want to deploy the app pages. I don't know what you think, Flo. I think in most cases for real products, it's pretty much best practice to have an app for the product and a marketing website, but I don't know if you have thoughts on that.
Yeah, usually it's better to do it like this, but both works. The issue is that indeed it's more difficult to maintain if you do this.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Talk to you soon.
Okay, so is it teasing time?
No, not yet. And I think Art had joined us, but he left, so I don't know. DI, you had questions about is there a tool to assess how fast the website will be once published? No, not at the moment. But we are going to record a video to help you look at things yourself, understand the flow of data when you're waiting for the server to answer, stuff like that. And you mentioned you're also interested to see what sneaky users would be able to catch on the navigator. So I'm just sharing in the comments a video about security. Sharing it now, and I think that's like 101 and gives you like really good examples of like the basics that you need to make sure you understand before you publish your app in terms of security and where to like how to secure your data and make sure that it's not found in the navigator. So hopefully that helps. And then we had a question about the data grid, but I'm not sure. I think, well, so the question was when the info changes in other parts of their site and they navigate back to the data grid, the old data is still there. If I refresh the data grid page, then it updates. I'm guessing you might want to play around with the advanced settings of your collection. You may have a like, I don't know, it may be either preserve on navigation or fetch collection automatically that's not configured properly. So you might want to play around with that. And
you might want to toggle off the preserve on navigation, I think. You may want the collection to be fetched again when you go back to the page.
Yep. All right, teasing time.
Okay.
So
let me share.
And Phil is asking, do you have an update on the date for the release of the new data grid? Unfortunately, no. Like the team is, I assure you, the team is like super hard at work on this. It's just like there are a lot of, yeah. I mean, maybe you want to speak more about it, Flo, but
yeah. Basically, two things. First, with those AI features, we thought that it could be easier to create a simple data grid and that integrates with the AI. So we put on all the work on this data grid for 1 or 2 weeks, just to make sure that we are going to the right direction for it. And so the answer is now we know. So we are going to work again on it and be sure that this is top of my mind to release this data grid because this is really, really important. So yeah, it's going to be for, I hope, really Q4, and I can't wait to release that. So yeah, and it's not an easy subject because we were really ambitious with this data grid. So but yeah, sorry for the delay. We are really on it.
Yep. All right, cool.
Okay, so let me zoom in a bit. So let me show you what we are working on. So let's start by creating a page with AI, and well, let's do a sign up page. So please create a sign up page for, let's say, backend developers persona. Let's see.
Dark mode, good start. Tia is excited. So are we. Probably as well. And I've tried, of all the AI features that I've tried so far, I have to say that generate page one is the one where I get the most satisfying results in terms of like, it's easy for me to ask for something. And you know, I get something nice. Whereas when I mean, I won't spoil the rest, but so I think even if you don't like prompting too much, like I don't like it too much, I think the generate page ones will be really cool.
It works really nicely. So basically, we are working on being able to iterate on a specific part and have the proper elements here. So we are almost there, but you could still iterate here. So for example, add a forgot password link and add a sign up link. So right now it's recreating everything, but it works.
But now it's keeping the same context, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So normally it should redo what it has done previously. So basically, also in here, you're going to be able to use your own library. So it could use your own elements and components. So we're working on that. You can also give it your screenshots.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah, this one works well.
Yeah, really cool.
This UI, of course, will change. This is for the alpha access right now. But yeah, this is coming, and as you can see, it works pretty well. So this is the first thing. So now let's talk about the second one.
And yes, you can add a screenshot and it will create from it. So just
Yeah.
it will not be a pixel perfect copy, which is good because then there would be copyright issues anyway. But the way it works, from what I understood, is like AI translate the screenshots into text, and then from the text it generates again the UI. So that's why it's not pixel perfect. But I've tried it quite a lot, and the results are very nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you can see, you can select anything in here. You do have a real form there, and so on. So this is something you can use after that. And let me show you in here, you can also create some custom components. So this is what I said just earlier. So let's say, for example, you want to do something fancy like JSON that writes automatically here, like if someone was typing it. So let's try this.
See, the prompt that I would never.
Create a
I would never
component. Yeah, you need to be creative.
No, but I mean, I would in my brain would not think, oh, this is a JSON that is dynamic.
Yeah.
It would be like, can you make text move, like, or something like
Ah,
that.
okay. Yeah. So yeah, indeed it will be different. But let me try this one. Create a component to display a JSON like someone would type in. And please be polite. Please add a prop so I can update or specify. Can specify this JSON. Let's try that. So basically, it's going to analyze your prompt. You can check. Let's check that. Yeah, it sounds nice. So you can see the properties here. We have a display issue here. I need to fix. But
Really cool.
basically, we're going to have some properties. We're going to have some triggers, component actions. This is new. And oh, no dependencies. Okay, let's see. So then you can also click here, see the code. So this is pretty nice to see the quality of the code that is generated. Let's wait a bit longer.
And for now, you can't edit the code.
Absolutely, for now you can't edit it yourself. You need to ask the AI to do it. Okay, let me drag and drop it. Oh, it's not dynamic. Maybe if I specify something.
I need to ask ChatGPT to translate what I'm seeing now.
Oh, it's not working. Okay, let me try again. It's not dynamic. I cannot see the text typing.
And just letting you know, we only have 3 minutes left because we need to jump on it.
Another call, I know. So you saw here I've got specific props, like the JSON
Nice.
to show or not the numbers, dark and light mode.
Should have asked it to mimic format for the input the user is doing.
Yeah,
We'll learn to prompt better and better.
absolutely. So also when you click here, you can compare the changes for those who knows code.
Wow.
You can take a look at that. It's quite nice. Still no dependencies. Okay. Okay. It's not working. I'm a bit disappointed. No.
Make it move.
Please mimic the typing. It's not moving.
Ah, animated Jason. That.
Okay, 2 minutes.
Suspense is killing me. Make a dog appear. Yeah, we've tried those prompts. They work.
Yeah, you would be surprised.
With all AI tools, seems like prompting is everything. Yeah, it's actually a big internal discussion because it, yeah, some people are. It's easier for them to prompt than for others, but I think AI tools would evolve very quickly. We've seen like with screenshots, for example. It works now, right?
Yes. Nice.
All right. Well, very cool. We really have to run, unfortunately, on time today because we have a meeting like back to back. But hope you enjoyed this. We have a lot more to share with you, of course, and thank you as always for like your questions, your kindness, your creativity. So thank you, everyone, and